All right. What's going on, folks? Welcome back to the FF Face Off. And yes, this is Championship Sunday. There we go. For us fantasy football players, I mean, for you who have finals in week 18, you need to talk to your league commissioner. But this is the fantasy football finals here. We're going to be going through Q&As. We will react to some of the action that has happened over the weekend already. Yesterday, obviously, Christmas. We saw Derrick Henry go absolutely bonkers. So, maybe you have him. Maybe you feel like you're sitting on easy street. Maybe you went against him and you feel like you need a couple of hopes and prayers. So we're gonna get to all that. Um, I would like to just really quickly. I don't want to go any further without mentioning the fantasy football community is a very tight one. So I'd be remiss if I didn't mention waking up to the news of the passing of Randall Young, who was at DWZ Memphis. He was part of the Dynasty War Zone. He did some work with Player Profiler. His podcast partner, Jerry Sinclair, had mentioned that he had unfortunately passed away in his sleep. So our hearts go out to his family, his wife, his son. I mean, as somebody who lost a podcast partner this year, I know how difficult this can be. So definitely keep Jerry and definitely keep Randall's family in your hearts. And I'm gonna put a link in here. They do have a GoFundMe helping out some of the family. They've already raised about $7,000. So if you can go in there, if it's a buck or two, heck, if you've been on Twitter, maybe you came across him. He was always a very nice guy in the interactions I had with him. So I'll just put that link in there. But um, would feel wrong if I did not start this show without like if I didn't mention his passing, if I didn't acknowledge it, if I didn't say all the things. So yeah, just wanted to get that out there. But I did put the link in there in case anybody wants to go visit the GoFundMe. But with that, we will get into fantasy football Q&A. That's what Anthony, that's what Randall would want us to do. They wouldn't want us to sit here and talk too long about all that. But all right, so let's get into it. Again, if you guys have any questions or questions, I'll answer them. Help you out with any start sit questions. Pete Nova's not here, unfortunately. He's under the weather, but I'll be doing my best to help you out here. And yeah, we'll get through it together. Feel free to send in a super chat, helps you cut the line, but we will start from the very top. And it's Jared Fortin 6944 says, "Good morning. What a season for championship. Need 2 PPR. Burden, Tet, Waddle, Wandell, Michael Wilson, Kyle Williams, Dylan Sampson. I have Brissett, McBride, and Carter in the lineup. Leave Carter or swap for Sampson." I got to be honest, in terms of the back end of that question, I'm not in love with either back. I have found it very hard to trust Arizona running backs this year. Obviously after James Conner went down, what was that, week 3 against the 49ers? So, I mean, but I'm also Sampson. I'm not really expecting a ton from Dylan Sampson either. So I lean Michael Carter here. I don't love either one there. In terms of needing 2 for PPR, I know a lot of people are excited about Burden. I'm more excited about DJ Moore tonight, to be honest with you, going up against the 49ers. That's not to say Burden's not going to do anything, but in terms of this question, I know Tet just popped up on the injury report, so I would like to just pull that up. I believe he's going to still play, so I do want to get that for a hot second. Tet McMillan. So, yeah, he did pop up on the injury report this morning, but I believe he still plays. So, yeah. Right now he's currently under the weather. I think I would still go. I think I'll go Tet McMillan here, and I'm still going Michael Wilson. They don't sound like Marvin Harrison. He's going to play, but he's not doing great. I know when Marvin Harrison plays, Michael Wilson tends to not do a ton. But be that as it may, I would still go that way. So yeah, give me Tet still. Give me Michael Wilson. That's who I would go with here in this spot. I would love to go Jalen Waddle, but it's hard to trust Quinn Ewers in that spot. We do have a super chat. We'll get to that in a second. We are getting asked Strange, Tonjes, Hill, or Waller standard. Let's go. Yeah, and I have a feeling we're going to get a lot of Tonjes questions related to George Kittle, who's unlikely to play. Honestly, I'm going with the home run swing for Taysom Hill. This is probably going to be his last game in the Superdome. We've seen what he's done in the last couple of weeks. I like him over these other options. I would say after if you don't want to do the home run swing on Taysom Hill, if you want to play it safer, I would go with the Tonjes. But for me, yeah, I would be going with Hill in that spot. The super chat comes from ATL Mikey says Malik Willis, where does he best spot? Um, maybe the Dolphins. I don't. I think you're. I think you're running into a little bit of. If anybody thinks that Malik Willis is going to go somewhere and be a wire to wire for a full season contributor, I don't think that's actually going to pan out. I mean, there's teams that are going to need quarterbacks here in the league. Obviously, I just. Yeah, I would kind of say buyer beware in that spot. I would say the goal for anybody needing a quarterback who's not getting one via the NFL draft this year is probably going to be Mac Jones. You know, do the Browns want a Malik Willis if they keep Stefanski and they really don't buy into Shador Sanders, which I'm starting to think is a mistake because I think that Sanders, if he has a coach who believes in him, could probably do all right. I think the Saints are secure a quarterback. I think the Colts are going to be an interesting one. I think they're kind of potentially forced to bring back Daniel Jones, depending on how a contract would look like. Maybe the Dolphins, maybe the Jets need a quarterback in there. So when don't the Jets need a quarterback? So yeah, I think that would be kind of what you're looking at. But again, buyer beware in terms of relying on him for any kind of consistency. Let's go back up here really quick. Eventually, I'll just go to the bottom of this, but I want to get to some of you guys who were in here early on asking questions. Give me one hot second. Frosty coming in here says, "Yo, need 3 Pitts, Sampson, Burden, Hendo, Ramondre with Trevion Henderson being off of the injury report now. He's clear concussion protocol. I would definitely go with Hendo there. I honestly, to be God's honest with you, I don't even hate the idea of going with both Hendo and Ramondre, but in this case, I will go Hendo, I will go Burden, and I will actually go Kyle Pitts. But I think Ramondre gets some love too. I think just because Trevion Henderson's back doesn't mean that all of a sudden we're going to see absolutely nothing out of Ramondre Stevenson. And I will now welcome in Ben, of course, who could be followed at FF Rabbit Dad. Ben decided to put down the Pop Tarts and come join us here as Pete is under the weather, as I mentioned. So, Ben, how are you?
I'm good. I've got my coffee, so I'm all ready for this morning. Thanks for asking me to join you. Ready to kick some butt, have some fun, and help some people out.
That's it. I would have asked you sooner, but Pete was a game time decision down to the wire, and then he said he wasn't going to make it. So hangs out with the family for Christmas, gets sick. That's that's what he got for his
pretty
present.
much how it goes. Surprised I haven't gotten sick again.
Yeah, me too. I'm waiting for it. Iggy2122 says, "Can I trust Henderson? My other options are Corum, Manunga, Taysom Hill, or Tonjes. I have Caleb, CMC, Olave, and Kyron starting. I need highest ceiling. JMO, Kelsey, and Fairbairn has already played PPR. Yeah. Well, Fairbairn got you double-digit points, so that's cool. I was talking about this earlier. I mean, I think you could trust Henderson. It wasn't like he had a hamstring, an ankle. He was in concussion protocol. He's been cleared. So physically, I don't think he's limited, and it's a nice matchup against the Jets. I mean, Ben, would you be able to trust Trevion Henderson in this spot?
Absolutely. I mean, the thing is with concussions, it's something that they take really serious, so they're not going to put a player back in unless he's totally ready and totally back, and all those symptoms are gone. And yeah, like you said, that Jets matchup is money. So I'm totally down with Henderson this week.
Yeah, the Jets are one of 2 teams that have had more than 5 games of 30 or more points. I'm sorry, let me get my words out. Allowed against the running back position. The Jets have had 7 games in which they've allowed 30 or more points. I mean, last week they only allowed 5.4, but after that, you go the previous 3 weeks, 40 points in each of the 3 last games for the Jets, allowing points of running back. So yeah, I think you're good to go there. Spock coming in here. No PPR, which I always say is the soft point of fantasy football. Jalen Waddle or Harold Fannin for the championship. I did mention earlier I thought it was a little hard to trust Waddle with Quinn Ewers, but that was based on the other players that were in the question. In terms of this, I'm going Jalen Waddle in this spot. Ben, what would you do here? I mean, both guys could get a decent amount of volume, but we're not really worried about receptions, I guess, since it's no PPR. But I mean, even though that does lead to yards, where would you go here?
You know what? Groin injuries are they can really pop up and be kind of nasty. They can just they can linger on and they could just get absolutely foul with one bad twist. I love Harold Fannin, but I think I would go Waddle just because of that groin injury that popped up so late. Even though they're saying, no setbacks, still expected to play. But yeah,
Right.
Waddle would be where I'd go.
Yeah, you just need one wrong cut to find out the hard way that you shouldn't have put him out there. But
Yeah, yeah.
Jenny Whipple, who has been a frequenter on this show, says, "Good morning, Steelers or Saints defense." Now, for that, even though Pete is not here today, I do have his defensive ranks. If you give me one hot second, I will pull that up and let you know what he would go with, because what Pete says in terms of DST is gospel. And if he says Steelers, yeah, he's got the Steelers ranked 5th this week. He's got the Saints defense ranked 15th. So I would be going with the Pittsburgh Steelers there. In terms of the rest of the question, Dallas Goedert or Jake Tonjes? Let's answer that one first, and then we'll get to the next question. To me, I'm going Jake Tonjes in this spot. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I know the Bills and the Eagles have what could be a Super Bowl preview, but I think that might be a little bit lower scoring than the 49ers and the Bears. I'll go Tonjes. Tonjes did well, even though a lot of that was with Mac Jones. Brock Purdy is playing on another level right now, 5 touchdowns against the Colts last week. So give me Tonjes in this spot. I don't think they even put Kittle out there. Ben, what would you do there, you being a tight end guru at all?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on this one actually. I was hoping maybe we disagree, but no, I would go with Tonjes too, just because we saw him do so much when he was in relief of Kittle earlier. 7 catches, 41 yards in a score, 3 catches, 58 in a score, 658. Just the number that he's been putting up when he's the guy. And yeah, it was Mac Jones, but you know, Purdy's better than Mac Jones, and he has absolutely been on fire too. So I think don't whisk it with Kittle. Let him get healed up. They're going to make the playoffs. They might even get the number 1 seed. So don't screw anything up with him. Let him come back. Let him heal and take advantage of Tonjes, who has been a very solid option when he needs to be.
Fantastic. And then the back end of that, and then we will get to a super chat. Rico Dowdle or Parker Washington for flex, full point per reception. I'll let you take this one first.
You know what? I think I'm going to go with Parker Washington in that one too. I was just trying to pull up the stat for it too, but yeah, he's been really up and down, back and forth all season for the most part. There's weeks where he absolutely blows up, and gives you a week-winning performance, and there's weeks where he kind of disappears. I think with the matchup and everything, here it is. Second most receiving yards to wide receivers going into week 16 is what the Colts have given up. So yeah, and he's just I think you need to go with Parker. Trevor Lawrence is lighting it up and looking like a stud, and they're making their run. It might be I'm not saying it, but I kind of like the Jags to make it to at least the championship game.
All right. We're going to disagree eventually on this show, but I am going to go Parker Washington as well. The fact that it is PPR makes that an easier decision. If it had been standard or maybe even half point, maybe I'd have a different answer. I don't think you're going to get 23.5 points like you got last week. Well, that was half point scoring, but I don't think you're getting, 20 or more points, but I do think you're getting a respectable week out of what you should be expecting from Parker Washington. So I think that's a good option. We do have a super chat here. If you send in a super chat, you get to cut the line. It's at JPO Jam with a $4.99 super chat. Appreciate that, kind sir. Pick 2. Hall, Stevenson, Taysom Hill, Dowdle, Carter, half point per reception. I got to be honest. I mentioned it towards the top. I'll see what Ben says here. I don't really trust Cardinals running backs ever since James Conner went down. I find it hard to do. I just like show me the consistency there, and I get it. They've had a lot of injuries. It's not really fair to criticize that, but if I'm picking two here, I'm going Stevenson and I'm going with the home run swing. I'm putting the old this is nut cutting time, and I'm going with Taysom Hill. I think they're gonna get him involved in multiple ways. I don't think it's going to be a huge week like last week, but I'll take him over not being able to trust Brees Hall, not because of him, but because of the coaching. And I'll take him over Dowdle. So yeah, give me Stevenson and give me Taysom Hill. Ben, where are you rolling here on this?
We're going to partially agree on this one because I'm also down with
Okay.
Taysom Hill. Just the fact that he became the RB1 last week. Granted, yeah, they've lost 4 running backs all year, so it's kind of like, what are we going to do? Who's going to lead the ball? To give it to Taysom
Right.
Hill, we know what he can do. We know he can burst into anything. He can catch the ball. He can throw the ball. It's just that kind of a cheat code, especially if you were looking at like a tight end position. But I'm guessing this is more of a flex. But I'm still going with Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill over the field in this one. As for the other option, I think I would still go with Michael Carter. I
Okay.
think that he's still going to get he's still going to be good enough because he probably gets the bigger share of targets out of the backfield. So just an extra
Sure.
layer of the offense that he's going to be more involved in than anybody else they've got out there. Because all right, we've got DeMarcado, who looks like he's going to play, but he's before last week he had touched the ball once in the last 5 weeks because he was hurt and doesn't really get a whole lot of the targets either. Yeah, he had 3 a couple weeks ago. He had 1 last week. You know, then what's they got left after that? Corey Kiner, I think, is the next guy who's got 8 touches on the year. So no, I think mine's Taysom Hill for sure. Michael Carter number 2.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate that call. Carter would probably be the next man up for me, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'm still going, Stevenson. We discussed that matchup against the Jets. I still think that even though Ramondre's healthy, Stevenson will still get enough in there with all the receivers hurt too with the Patriots. I think they're going to need to rely on both of these running backs. In the interest of just kind of keeping this going here, I'm going to start from a little bit lower here in the chat in case anybody left. If you're still here and if I skip your question, definitely fire it back in there. We're going to start from here. We're going to start from Slick and we'll go our way down. Half point per reception, Goddard, Taysom Hill, Tonjes. I mentioned Tonjes earlier, taking him over Goddard. Yeah, I think I stick with Tonjes in this spot. I love Taysom Hill this week. I really do, but I think that the 49ers are still going to target the tight end. I think they're going to be throwing the ball quite a bit. I think they're going to need to keep up. I think the Bears are going to put up a lot of points. Could be one of the highest scoring games in the week. I will take Taysom Hill's. Jake Tonjes slightly over Taysom Hill.
And I'm gonna take Hill slightly over Tonjes. I think, like we just said, like I was saying, the fact that he has so many different aspects of the game he can be involved in, including passing the ball, just makes that upside, just the floor itself. I mean, yeah, he could absolutely just kind of implode and have like 1 touch and do nothing. But at the same time, they've got nothing to do other than just like prove that they are a team that's coming back, that they've got the foundation, they've got the building pieces. So they're trying to end up the season with wins. They don't care about the draft slot. So I think that I'm the Hill. I'm on Hill again. I'm on the Hill.
All right. Listen, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I'm on the hill with Hill too. I just have some of my limits. That's all. But
yeah, Towns is definitely just a scotch below. But yeah, I'm going with Hill.
No, it's close. I will also tell everybody, feel free to hit the like button on this show. We got 24 people watching right now, expecting that to build up. Ryan coming in here, half point per reception. Bijan is his RB1. Of course, he needs 1 RB2 and 1 flex out of the 3. Dowdle, Carter, BTJ. This time I will go Michael Carter, and I'm going to go Brian Thomas Jr. as the flex. I think we could see another nice week. I know we spoke a little bit about Parker Washington, but I think Brian Thomas can do some work today in this passing game as well. Ben, where are you leaning here in terms of two out of these three names?
Yeah, I think the matchup for BTJ is sexy enough that you're going to throw him in there. Um, and then I think Carter's my other pick too. I just think that Seattle defense is a little tough, and Dowdle splitting touches with Hubbard, even though it's probably even if it's not 50-50, it still takes his stock down just a touch below Carter. So I'm going with Carter and BTJ too.
All right. And we got Rube Tube coming on in here saying, good morning, Stafford or Joe Burrow. Then he does have a DST question, which I'll just tell you right now. You're asking between the Giants and the Saints. And
Who thought we were ever
the
going to come to this? The
Giants
Giants,
actually make
Saints,
Pete
and championship
top
weekend.
10. You know, I mean, listen, both teams, let's be honest. I mean, the players in the field are going to play. I don't want to disrespect the players in the field, but
Yeah.
the front offices are both jockeying for position to see who could lose this game. And I actually like the Giants defense today too. So, only again because of what the situation is. So, I will just tell you it's Giants. Ben, if you feel like commenting, you can. But in terms of the quarterbacks, Stafford or Burrow, no disrespect to Matthew Stafford playing on Monday night at the Falcons, but I'm taking Joe Burrow against the Arizona Cardinals here. Arizona Cardinals are just a pitiful bunch, and now I'll give them credit. I liked their draft. I thought they had a very good draft. I thought they got some good pieces on defense, but a lot of those pieces are injured now. So I'm going to go Joe Burrow here in this spot. You've got the Cardinals allowing an average of 21.6 points to quarterbacks over the last 3 weeks. So give me Joe Burrow. Ben, what says you here?
Yeah, I'm definitely going Burrow over Stafford, and granted, Stafford has been having an absolutely magical season. Like somebody found the Ponce de Leon Fountain of Youth over there in Los Angeles. So,
Ponce de
but
Leon name drop. I like it.
yeah, no, hey, you got one every once in a while.
There you go.
Defensive wise, I'm going to go against you on this one too. I'm going to go with the Saints. I
Huh?
just feel like there's going to be a ton of points scored in that Giants and Vegas game, and you know I feel like the Saints want another win more. I feel like they're one of the teams, granted, they're not in the playoff picture, but I think out of all the teams in the league, they just want to prove that they're not some chump team that came in here
Yeah.
with a late round quarterback who's on the verge of possibly winning rookie of the year. I mean, that's insane in my opinion, Tyler Shuck. But I think, I just think the Saints want it more. I would think I would go with them over the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'll give the Saints some credit. I mean, 5 wins isn't really anything to cheer about, but they do. I think they play better than what their record is. I'll give them credit there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we'll move on here. We got Ryan coming in here again. Tight end, Brenton Strange or Taysom Hill. I love me some Brenton Strange, but I'm going Taysom Hill. We talked a lot about Hill. I think we're going to talk more about Hill, so I'll just leave it at that. But Ben, I assume you're in agreement on that one.
Oh man, it's hard for me to say no to Brenton Strange, but I think I gotta
It
take
usually
Taysom
is for
Hill
me
too.
too, but
I know. I mean, I'm the Brenton Strange guy, but I think Taysom Hill is the pick here.
yeah, I agree. We got Elias coming in here. Let's walk with Elias on this question. He says, good morning, boys. Who would you start out of these three? Wandell, Rico, or Mike Evans? Usually I ask in this case, is this PPR or is it not? But I think regardless, even if it was half point or even standard, I'll go Wandell here for the volume, and I'll go Mike Evans in this matchup. I don't know how much time Mike Evans has left on the football field. I think Baker Mayfield's going to want to feed him. I actually like the over on his receiving yards today. I forget what that number was, but I took it. But yeah, I'm going to go Wandell, and I'm going to go Mike Evans in this spot. I know I seem to be disrespecting Rico Dowdle here, but Ben, how are you rolling?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of perceived Dowdle disrespect here. And it's not because we don't like him; it's because he's got a tough matchup. And you got Mike Evans, who, if he's 100% healthy, he's an easy 6 catches, 80 yards plus. And then you got Wandale, who is the heart and soul of the offense, basically for the Giants at this point. And yeah, it's definitely Wandale and Evans for me.
All right, we'll get to the next one here. Again, if you guys want to cut the line, you could send in a super chat. You'll get to cut the whole line. But we got Lamont coming in here. Stephon Diggs, and in what I already referenced, a lot of injuries there for the Steelers, for the Patriots wide receivers or Michael Wilson. Diggs, he does have some incentives. I forget what those incentives are, but we are in incentive season. I'll be looking at that next week when I want to put in a parlay, see who needs what incentive, see who needs what to hit their incentives, because players care about that stuff. But I will actually, as much as I love Michael Wilson, shit, I think I'm gonna go Stephon Diggs in this spot, only because of all of the injuries there with the Patriots wide receivers. If everybody else was there, I think I'd probably lean Michael Wilson. But yeah, give me Stephon Diggs in this spot. But it's a tough question because Michael Wilson also has a nice matchup. Ben, are we disagreeing here?
No, actually, we're on board with this one. I'm still gonna go with Diggs too. I just feel like you said, so many guys hurt. I mean, like really, who do they got that's healthy? They got Diggs, they got Kyle Hamilton, and they got what, Hunter Henry. I mean, maybe Austin Hooper. I don't even know. But that's yeah. There's so many guys missing that somebody's gonna have to catch the ball. There's it's Diggs. It's Diggs for me. I mean, I love Michael Wilson too. I feel like he's kind of been that late season pickup that people are taking all the way to the championship week. But yeah, I'm going Diggs.
Don't hate it. All right, we'll go on to Gladys coming in here saying Josh Allen or Brock Purdy, and this is one of the few times I could say this. I'm going Brock Purdy over Josh Allen here. I just think it's going to be a higher scoring game. I view that Bills Eagles game as being more of like a slugfest, where I think it's going to be more with the 49ers and the Bears tonight on Sunday Night Football. I think that's going to be more of like a, that's going to be a higher scoring affair. So give me the higher scoring affair. Also give me Brock Purdy, who's, 26.2 points in week 15. Obviously, last week I referenced the 5 touchdowns, 30.9 points. Got a lot of you people here to the fantasy football finals. I know it's weird sitting Josh Allen in the fantasy football finals, but if it's for Brock Purdy, I'm doing it. Ben?
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, I think I still gotta go Allen just because it feels like a start your studs kind of guy. And yeah, we just see the 5 touchdowns from Purdy last week. But oh man, I'm trying to find reasons to agree with you. But I keep finding reasons that tell me like go with Josh Allen. And yeah, the majority of it is like, well, you drafted him in like the 3rd or 4th round to ride him all the way. And yeah, he's had a couple struggles, but I just feel like they're on the vert. It's so important at this part in the season for the Bills to try and get an extra win. They're not going to have to worry about the Bengals or the Chiefs or probably the Ravens in the playoffs. This might be their year to get all the way there. I think they finish out strong, and I'm going to go with Allen in this one.
All right. We do have another super chat. And I mean, it's hard to disagree with you picking Josh Allen, but
no, yeah, and it's hard to disagree with Brock Purdy too. So I get that.
Right. We got Germ Z coming in here with the $2 super chat. Thank you, kind sir. Kittle out. Yeah, Kittle's unlikely to play. They say he was going to test it, then they say he's unlikely. He's not going to play. Let's just be happy that, at least for me being a Niner fan, that ankle injury wasn't worse. But he does ask, pick one: Jake Tonjes or Colby Parkinson. For me, this one's pretty easy. I'm going Jake Tonjes here. Neither opponent really jumps off the page in terms of allowing points to tight ends. The Bears are more middle of the road, allowing about an average of 10.3 points per game in half-point formats. But then you get the Falcons, who the Rams are going up against on Monday Night Football. They're only allowing an average of 7 points per game. They've had 12 games in which they've allowed less than 10 points to tight ends. So, and I don't think that because Kittle's out, I don't think that this means that the 49ers just say, okay, well, this means we can't use a tight end. Tom just did fine when he was out there when they needed him after week 1 when Kittle went down with that injury against the Seahawks, whom they'll play next week. Yeah, give me Tonjes in this spot. I like the matchup a little bit more, and I think the target share. I even think Tonjes should get a higher target share than Parkinson. To be honest with you, Ben, what do you got?
Yeah, no, I think you're right on all that. I think you pretty much nailed it on the head. It's Tonjes for me. It's we had some nice weeks from Parkinson, but they still do kind of have like a three-headed monster when it comes to tight end because they've got Davis Allen, they've still got their rookie Ferguson. Um, Parkinson looked good, but I think it's Tonjes without Kittle. He's just we touched on it earlier. He's had so many games of 6, 7, 8, 11 targets when Kittle's not there. So I think he is the right play there.
All right. Let's see where we are here. I'm just going to start jumping around here, guys. Feel free to fire it in there. I just want to try and keep up with people that are in. We obviously know if you guys are frequent on this show, we get a lot of questions on Sunday. Need some help? ESPN standard scoring, flex Jalen Waddle or DeAndre Swift. Thanks and keep up the good work. Well, thank you, and we're happy to help.
Thank
You know what, Ben? I'll let you go first here.
Jalen Warren or DeAndre Swift.
Unless you're thinking about it, then I'll give my answer.
No, yeah, I can absolutely I can jump right in. I think I'm going with Swift. I think the matchup's decent. I think you don't have to worry about Kenneth Gainwell coming in and just looking like Aaron Rodgers' favorite new toy. So now I say that I'm like, well, they don't have Metcalf. They're probably going to have to use. They'll have Allen Warren out there more often. Might
Come
do
back to
something
me.
fancy by putting him out on the edge. Oh,
Come back to me.
oh.
Come on.
Yeah, okay. I'm going back. I'm switching over to Jalen Warren. I think the lack of Metcalf, and you can't just give the ball to Gainwell. And we know Warren is more than capable pass catcher out of the backfield. Maybe they do something fancy, put him out on the edge once in a while. Maybe they do some weird kind of sets. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Jalen Warren. Actually, I talked myself out of it.
Well, happy to have you back. Yeah, I'm going Jalen. It was an easy answer for me. I had put something on X today that the Browns are one of 3 teams over the last 3 weeks to allow over 100 points to the running back position in fantasy points. That's half point format. So, and yeah, I DK's out, and I just think that means Gainwell gets more targets, which is, I mean, he was a clear target getter in that backfield anyway. Excuse me, but I think they're gonna need to rely on him more now in the passing game. So, and that just lends more opportunity to Jalen Warren in the backfield. So, yeah, give me Jalen Warren. That was a pretty easy answer for me. No disrespect to DeAndre Swift and what he's done this year, but
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
definitely not.
yeah, I'm gonna go that way. We do have some more super chats. Oh boy, we got 3 super chats. All right, let's get into
Bring him
this.
on.
Brown one Bravo with a 499 super chat. Thank you, sir. First timer here. Happy to have you. Full point per reception. He needs 2 here. Bucky Irving, Alec Pierce, Parker Washington, Michael Wilson, and Taysom Hill. Worried about Bucky in the red zone, but he says thank you. Ben, what are you thinking here? He needs 2. This is a full point per reception question. Where are you going with? We got to pick between 5 players here.
All right. Well, I'm taking Pierce out of it completely. I think that 2 touchdown performance last week was, like most 2 touchdown performances, it's kind of fluky. I don't think you're going to get that again. So I'm taking him out of the equation personally. Bucky he's still getting split in time. Tucker is still getting enough carries back there, enough opportunities to make him a nuisance for Irving managers. So I think I'm out on him. So I'm thinking I'm going Michael Wilson and Taysom Hill. I think the opportunity puts them both above it for me. Parker Washington might get that much opportunity, but like I mentioned earlier, it's not consistent with his targets. Sometimes he'll get 8, 9, 10, 11. Sometimes he'll get 2 or 3. So yeah, I'm going to go with Wilson and Hill.
I get it. It hasn't been great for Bucky Irving. I'm still going Bucky Irving in terms of this question. I mean, I apologize. The Dolphins the last 2 weeks allowed 22.8 points to running backs in week 15, week 16, 42.7. I think this could be a nice spot for Bucky Irving, and I will go Michael Wilson here as my next option. I get it when you look at some of the numbers. They're mentioning it. I forget who. Forgive me. They were mentioning on the CBS podcast when I was shoveling some snow here over on the East Coast. They were talking about, how Wilson's numbers aren't great when Marvin Harrison's in the lineup, but Marvin Harrison, I mean, he is banged up. They said he's banged up. He could be on a snap count potentially.
Mhm.
And the defense has a nice matchup. So, the defense is a nice matchup, I should say. So yeah, give me Irving, give me Wilson, but I do love me some Taysom Hill, even though this is the second time I've picked against him. So some might speculate. We've got another super chat. It's Trippy Flow. It's a fun name. $1.99 super chat. Thank you, kind sir, for a full point per reception. Jalen Warren, Jake Tonjes, Brenton Strange. I'll take this one. We referenced it before we had all these super chats coming in. I'm going Jalen Warren. Browns have been allowing a ton of points to the running back position over the last 3 weeks. No DK Metcalf. I think they're going to need to rely on that running game and then Gainwell through the passing game. I'm going to make Ben pick just for the hell of it. I have a feeling he's going to go Warren here, but I am curious which tight end he'd have to pick here if he had to. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, the way I looked at this differently, I looked at it as Tyler Warren. So I'm
Shit.
wondering if it's Tyler or if it's Jalen.
Is it Tyler? Okay. If it's Tyler Warren,
if it's Tyler Warren, I'm gonna go Tonjes.
Yep.
If it's Jalen Warren, I'm going Jalen.
Okay. That's actually what I would do too. I apologize.
I hate picking against Brenton Strange. It hurts. It hurts my soul to pick against my boy Brenton Strange. But yeah, Tonjes if that's Tyler Warren. But if it's Jalen Warren, I'm going with Jalen Warren.
Okay. It would be close between Tonjes and Tyler Warren, though, right?
Yeah, it would still be close. I mean, it's just like, Phillip Rivers. I love the story. We have a literal grandpa in the NFL throwing passes and actually looked good last week. But I just feel like that's it's scary. It's scary.
It is scary. Yeah, I would go Tonjes here as well if it is Tyler Warren. If it is Jalen Warren that I just naturally assumed, even though there were two other tight ends in the question, then it'll be Jalen. So either way, we answered that either way for you. So there you go. It's kind of like
we did. I think he's good.
2 for the price of 1. Jeremy's coming back in here with another super chat. He says, pick one, Brock Purdy or Jacoby Brissett. This one's a little tricky. I'm still going to go Brock Purdy here. I will just say, if this week is going to end. When this week ends, if these guys are within a few points of one another, I will not be shocked. So this is a tough question, which is why you're sitting in a super chat to ask. I'm leaning Brock Purdy. Guys on a roll right now. We've had consistency from Brissett up until last week. But yeah, give me Brock Purdy and what I think is just going to be a blow for blow, see who scores last wins. Give me Brock Purdy.
Yeah, and I'm going to go against you, and I'm going to go Brissett just because it's the Bengals matchup. I know. I'm sorry. I got to be honest. It's that matchup with the Bengals and the fact that we've seen Jacoby as a top 12 tight end all but one time since he's taken over as a starter. And now he gets the Bengals. It's the Bengals. It's like this game might. I mean, even the Cardinals could score 30 points against the Bengals. So it might be like 30 to 40 at the end of this game, and that means probably 3 touchdown passes.
Yeah, I'd say taking a look at. I mean, I get what you're saying about the Cards. The Bears allow a decent amount of points to quarterbacks. Not on level of the Bengals, but I'm just going with the hair on fire play that we've seen from Brock Purdy
absolutely.
lately.
But, and I can't say I hate the Purdy pick either. I just I think they could both end up as top 5 quarterbacks this week. Let's say that.
Agreed.
But I think there's a better chance that Jacoby is like a top 3 than Purdy, in my opinion.
We got James coming in here with a super chat. Then we have another super chat. So we got super chats. I will say once we're done with all these super chats, I'll probably just go to the bottom of the line in terms of questions. If you have any super chats, feel free to send them in. That's how you cut the line. James is coming in here. $1.99 super chat. Hall, Henderson, Wilson, start 2. Ben, what says you?
Michael Wilson right off the top, and I think you got to go Henderson too. Matchups and opportunity. It's all right there. And I like me some Breece Hall, but I feel like the Jets are still using Isaiah Davis enough to cut into that? I mean, is Brees Hall? Do you really think he wants to be a Jet anymore? It kind of feels like I don't know. I hear rumors bopping around like he's really tired of being there. There's no way he resigns. Hit the free agency wire. See what you can get elsewhere. So I feel like he doesn't care so much to be there as much as the Jets also just want to see what else they got, to take over for him in the future. So Henderson Wilson for me. I said a lot to get to that, but
no, that's. I mean, hey, listen, it's a super chat, so we give the context in the super chats. I mean, yeah, I wish I could tell you Brees Hall. I think Brees Hall is going to go to another team at some point, and it's just going to be one of those things where people are going to point back at the Jets and laugh because when he was with the Jets, he was wildly inconsistent, and now all of a sudden he goes to another team and he's great, and it's just going to be the goddamn Jets thing. But yeah, in this particular game here,
2.0.
yeah, exactly. Give me Henderson, give me Wilson. Pretty easy answer. I will just say, in terms of Brees Hall, the only thing I want to point out, which just doesn't sway me, it's just something I noticed that was interesting. Perhaps it's the Patriots dealing with some injuries. Perhaps I don't even know, but the Patriots are towards the bottom of the league in terms of points allowed to the running back position, allowing the fourth fewest. But over the last 3 weeks, they've allowed 89 points to the running back position. So not too far off from when I referenced 3 teams that have allowed over 100 points to running backs. They're not too far from that over the last 2 weeks. So I do think that's kind of interesting. But even with that, the Jets will find a way to screw that up and not give Brees Hall the ball. So, yeah.
Or it'll be like an Isaiah Davis 2-touchdown day, and they'll almost
exactly
the Patriots or something like.
Right, just dangle a good.
Jets doing Jets things.
Yeah, Jets doing Jets things. That's how they roll. Just trying to stay in character. We got another one from Dan here coming in with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you, sir. He's in the championship. Love to see that. Joe Burrow or Jalen Hurts. I will just say, while I'm going Joe Burrow here, and while I said that it's going to be a bit of a slugfest there between the Bills and the Eagles, I do think that a slugfest, at least in terms of how I'm thinking about it, could be a lot of rushing, which could help Jalen Hurts. But still, I mean, this matchup for Joe Burrow and the Bengals is just too goddamn juicy to put down. So give me Joe Burrow going up against the Cardinals. Pretty easy answer. Ben, I assume you're
in agreement again. We're in agreement on this one. It's Burrow over Hurts, and it's the matchup, and there's not really much else to say.
Yeah, exactly. Feel free, by the way, if you haven't already, feel free to like the show, and also if you send in any super chats, you cut the line. We will now head down to the bottom. Oh, we'll go here. We'll go to Mr. Peter Nova. Say good morning, folks. Sorry I couldn't make it today. Mike and Ben have you covered. Good luck.
Hi, Pete.
Yes, we do. Yes. Yeah, Pete.
Well
Pete
soon,
is
buddy.
Pete's a little under the weather. I personally think it's because he hasn't podcasted with me in a bit and he misses me too damn much, and that's why he's feeling sick. But maybe it's because he talks to me too much off air. That made him sick. Who knows? Either way. Let's go with Cam here. He wants to know May, Brissett, T-Law. Let's answer that first, and then he's got a wide receiver question and a tight end question. But if we're just looking at the quarterbacks here, I gotta say off the bat here, and I want to take a look at something quick, but off the bat, the name that comes out to me is maybe not a name that we'd all expect, but I think I go Trevor Lawrence and the way he's been playing lately. If the weather wasn't as cold and frigid here as it is in New York, I'd probably lean with Drake May. But I think I'm going to go Trevor Lawrence in this spot. Obviously, we saw the Colts get carved up on Monday night. Now they're on a short week. DeForest Buckner, who did come back, is now already out again, unfortunately. So that's another hole in their defense. I'm going Trevor Lawrence there. Ben, what says you?
Man, it's you know what? I'm kind of waffling between Brissett and T-Law. It is T-Law, but gosh, and I was talking about that matchup with Cincinnati so good, but the thing is, the Colts have given up more passing yards to quarterbacks on the season, 39-94 to 38-43 to the Bengals. So, where there's smoke, there's fire. Go with T-Law, I guess I'm going.
Yep. And then wide receivers here, he needs 2. Pierce, Downs, Bird, and Thielen. Oof.
Oh my gosh, that is so gross. I'm
That
sorry,
is
man.
that's that is about as gross as starting Jahmyr Gibbs on Christmas Day. I'm not going Thielen. I can't do it. I know. I mean, Anthony would be Anthony's above watching me saying, "Go ahead, you jerk, pick Thielen," but I can't do it.
Oh.
Give me Luther Burden here. And even though we talked about Pierce and the 2 touchdowns kind of being like a fluke game, which well, a game that's not something you could expect to happen often, but I'll still go Pierce over Downs here in this spot. So give me Burden, give me Burden, give me Pierce, but not in love with it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we just got a goose egg from Burden. Or no, is that he didn't play last week? No,
Right.
did he play last week or was he out? I can't remember now.
I'll get it. Give me a
Yeah,
second while
yeah.
you pick the other.
All right. Well, okay. So like, but Pearson Downs, I'm taking Downs out right there. Because I don't love either one, but the big playability by Pierce puts him over Downs for me. And then it's, do I want to go Pierce or do I want to go Burden? I'm actually thinking I'm going Thielen because we don't have Metcalf, because he's always been a reliable receiver. He's always been a great route runner. And he's still got that ability, or at least he's perceived to have that ability to just be an end zone target like he was for so many years with Minnesota and Carolina. Just solid, reliable veteran presence. Might be the guy for the rest of the regular season. It's possible. Maybe my purple colored glasses are a little foggy, and that's how I see it a little bit. I did go and pick him up in one league where I'm just trying to keep the points lead throughout the season because I needed a little wide receiver help, and I was on the verge of starting. I'm still waffling. So I think I'm going Thielen and Burden. Yeah, I think,
Thielen,
yeah.
I was just gonna say Thielen anytime touchdown plus 475 on DraftKings.
I mean, that's not horrible odds, and that'd be a nice payout. I mean, it's not like it's plus 800 or anything, but
yeah, I actually thought it was going to be higher, to be honest with you, but all right.
I did too, actually. But I think, yeah, I mean, he had a few extra targets last week, and so who else is there? Are they actually going to get Roman Wilson involved? Like 2 years after they're like we all thought he was the next coming of Mike Wallace or whoever, or Antonio Brown, because the Steelers always draft well wide receiver wise, but we haven't seen anything from him yet.
Right.
Gosh, yeah, I think, it's, where was that number?
Well, I will also say he as
49 yards. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We also had the tight end question, and we have another super chat, I believe. It was Strange, Hill, or Tonjes. I believe we answered a similar question earlier. I'm going Tonjes, and I believe, Ben, you're going Hill, right?
Yes. That sounds like what we did earlier. Stop asking me to bench Brendan Strange. It hurts.
I'm with you. I don't love it.
I mean, honestly, it's Hill, Tonjes, and Strange in order for me. And that's from the guy who was on the Strange band, who put the gas in the tank for the Strange bandwagon before the season started. But yeah, Hill.
Yeah. Just want to mention this quick before we get on to the super chat. It's being reported now by Ian Rappaport that not this week, next week, Riley Leonard will likely start over Phillip Rivers now that they are out of playoff contention. So we have one more weekend to enjoy a grandfather slinging the ball around the field. So because something tells me that Phillip Rivers will not be on another team next year now that he's reset his health insurance clock for his 15,000 kids. Super chat coming in from our very own Pete Nova. He says, is there any way Flores gets a head coaching job this cycle? I don't.
I've recently been looking into this, and it's
okay.
It's the same old song and dance. Like, Flores is a mastermind defensively. We all know this. And against his case is the whole situation with Dolphins. though reportedly at being given incentives to lose games, and then the lawsuit against the team or the league, or it's just like, and I think that's still pending and everything. He did get a couple looks last year from teams. They weren't really serious. It was more like, all right, we need to look at somebody else. It makes sense to look at Flores because he is a defensive mastermind. I think he'll get, 2 or 3 looks, interviews. Um, and it's really, and I know the Vikings want to re-sign him. They're kind of working at it right now to give him an extension, which absolutely is the goal for Minnesota.
Sure.
But I feel like it's really going to come down to nothing's going to get done there until after he has an opportunity to interview and wait for a possible offer. I think we're still a year out. I think this cycle he's not going to get one. I think he'll take the extension from Minnesota, continue to do magical things there with guys like Van Ginkel and Dallas Turner, and one more year, the Vikings are going to have an amazing defense that's going to win them games like it has down the stretch here. But I think this cycle, no, I think he does not get the head coaching job yet. I would love it because I love the man. I would hate
Yeah.
it because I want us to continue to benefit here in Minnesota. But I think we got one more year before he actually gets a serious offer.
I kind of feel the same about Robert Saleh, which is interesting because they're both obviously defensive-minded head coaches. Yeah, I don't think Flores gets a job this cycle. I do think, like you said, I think the Tua stuff plays into it a little bit. I will say, while don't hear me wrong here. I mean, I think it's the perfect opportunity for the NFL teams that are looking for a head coach to get by their old the Rooney Rule, which I think
Yep.
is just it's a got to be a better way to do that, I guess, because
It's
people
outdated,
just
antiquated.
yeah, it's outdated. But I do think he gets interviews. I do think he gets into a bunch of buildings here, but I don't think he lands a head coaching job. I mean, the Titans, I feel like that screams Mike McCarthy. Um, the Giants, I don't see Flores with the Giants personally. Um, I don't.
I
Yeah, I
still
don't see
feel
it.
like too the league is kind of high on getting an offensive guy in
Sure.
your main spot right now. Because we've seen the success of guys of the offensive guys over the last number of years. McVay, Campbell, Canales, Cohen. Just you bring in the offensive guy and you just bring in a defensive guru to do the work behind the scenes on the other side of the ball. Let the head coach call the plays, and then just somebody else who's going to have the same kind of work mentality on the offensive side to be the OC. But I think, yeah, maybe that'll
I
swing
think
back around. We'll get a more even split in the future. But
yeah, I think he stays in Minnesota. But one a team that I'll just bring up that wouldn't shock me, and they'd be going from one defensive head coach to another, but the Falcons would not surprise me. I'm just put that out
yeah,
there into the space.
yeah. I mean,
But
yeah, I could see that. I really just want him to stay here.
no, I know. I hear you. That's why I'm
Yeah.
happy I'm not getting questions about Salah.
Yeah.
We got Kenzen 6671 with a $2 super chat wants to know London or Evans, Juwan Johnson or Tonjes, Kittle and fan and owner. But all right, let's go with the wide receiver portion of this question. If he's picking one of those guys, I'm gonna go Drake London. I mean, I like Mike Evans. I think Mike Evans does some work today. I mentioned earlier, I do like the over on his receiving yards if you're interested in that kind of thing. But yeah, I'll go Drake London in this spot. Less competition for targets, is the clear cut man there. I do think that he will put up some points against the Rams. I want to look at one other thing here. But yeah. I mean, you take a look at the Rams. I mean, for as good as they are, they're allowing the 6th most points of the wide receiver position. So, give me Drake London in a Monday Night Football matchup, and I'm also gonna go with I'll go. That's tough. All right, you know what? You answer the wide receiver one first because I got to think about this. I got to do some soul searching.
Sure. Yeah. All right. So yeah, London, Evans. Evans feels like the safer floor, but London feels like if either of them is going to go off, it's going to be London. I just worry about the floor with London. So I think the matchup's pretty good. I think I would go London over Evans, just for that potential upside. And I mean, Kirk Cousins wants to still prove that he's a capable NFL quarterback, and he's done that the last couple of weeks. He's looked pretty decent. If he keeps getting the ball out there to his playmakers and they put some yards, they put some points out there, I think that's in his favor, in his best interest. Not saying like they're going to like deal him or anything or cut him. They kind of said like, oh, well, we already paid you $160 million. We're going to bite that bullet for the rest of the contract. Fine, go ahead. But in that case, he's still going to go out there and try. So I'm going to put London just above Evans for me.
Yeah, in terms of tight ends, I did some soul searching. I'm actually going to go Juwan Johnson over Tonjes here,
I can see that.
which is making me think long and hard about my Tonjes over Taysom Hill. But I think I'd go Juwan Johnson over Tonjes here.
I think as fantasy tight ends go, I think Juwan Johnson is just almost as good as Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill's got that, obviously we've mentioned it 100 times. He might pass the ball, he might run the ball, he might catch the ball, he might do all three. First player in the NFL, at least the Super Bowl era, to have 1,000 passing yards, 1,000 rushing yards, and 1,000 receiving yards in a career. So there's that. But Juwan Johnson has always been this kind of late season dart throw that hits so often. I know there's been years where he's got like 4 touchdowns over the last 3 weeks or 5 touchdowns over the last 6 weeks, had multiple touchdown games near the end of the season. They always kind of seem to pop up here and there. And, he's been really targeted as well. I think I would actually go Juwan Johnson over Tonjes.
Okay. Sounds good. Let's get to another super chat. Then we'll get back to the questions. We'll start from the bottom again. If you guys have any super chats, feel free to send them in. You get to cut the line. We'll see how far we go past an hour. Just as the questions keep coming in, we'll keep answering them at some point. If Ben gets that hungry that he needs his Pop-Tart right meow, then, we'll see what happens. But I already ate my breakfast.
I had one of them. I'm having the other one for my reward afterwards, and I still got my coffee.
Reward. So all right.
Here for the long haul.
Whatever incentive you need, if it's a Pop-Tart, whatever, man, whatever helps you out. We do have another super chat here. Unknown Ball, and we're a frequenter of the show, so appreciate you coming in with a super chat. Josh Allen or Matthew Stafford? Oh my God, yeah, this one's a close one. I'm actually gonna go Matthew Stafford in this spot. I know I feel like I'm disrespecting Josh Allen now because I picked against him twice. Who the hell does that? I just think the matchup's a little bit better. I just feel like, Josh Allen, you can get the rushing. This is a lot closer for me, though. I'm still going Stafford. I'll go Stafford in this spot. Falcons, they only allowed 11.6 points to tight ends, the quarterbacks last week, but the prior 3 weeks they allowed over 20 points to the position. I mean, Eagles last 2 weeks have allowed granted one of those weeks was, against Mariota and Johnson, but, you're looking at 6.7 points over the last 2 weeks combined. Prior to that, they haven't allowed a 20-point game since week 12. And then before that, you'd have to go all the way back to week 6. So I go Matthew Stafford here based on matchup. Ben, what do you got?
I'm gonna go with Josh Allen, and it's because the Eagles have given up the 7th most rushing yards to quarterbacks on the year.
Good call. All right, I don't hate it.
But I think they're both great picks. I do. I really do. I think they're both great picks. But I think I'm gonna side with Allen for that rushing floor.
And I mean that's a smart call because I think that's how Josh is going to get the majority of his points today. Just like I think that's how Jalen Hurts is going to get the majority of his. So yeah, don't hate that call. But we got another one here. At _ Justin Kyle, $1.99 super chat. Thank you. Appreciate that. Choose 2 for flex. K9, Ibuka, and Burden. Oh boy. This aggravates the hell out of me because I feel like every show I have to mention how much I hate the Seattle Seahawks backfield. But Ibuka to me has gone, it's gone a bit downhill for him, to be honest with you. So I think I go Burden.
Milk carton last week, actually.
Well, and if he was holding that milk carton, he'd probably drop it. I'm gonna go Burden here, and I'm gonna go Kenneth Walker. I wish Ibuka could give me a reason over the last few weeks to say his name here in response to who you should start. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll pull up some of his numbers, but I mean, he hasn't done it lately. So yeah, and Emeka Ibuka hasn't had a 10-point game, a double-digit game since week 10. This is half-point scoring. After that, 6.5, 4.7, 6.2, 2.5, 8.4, 4.5. That is a lot of disgustingness following a 20-point game.
He
So
beat
yeah,
42 yards once in the last 6 weeks.
that
It's
is
just
poop.
yeah. As long as the Bucks have a Godwin and Evans, I feel like Egbuka is unusable for fantasy. So I'm also going Burden and K9.
Yeah, that's something just flashed across my timeline. Apparently, this is the anniversary of John Madden's passing. So,
Oh,
R.I.P.
jeez.
You know, continue to rest in
Yeah,
peace, Mr. John Madden. I wonder what he would think
legendary.
of
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage playing him, which looks like absolute shit, in my opinion. Might as well have been me doing it. But
Wait, what? What? I'm hearing something for the first time. Is this a thing?
you haven't seen the movie trailer?
No.
There's a John Madden movie in which Nicolas Cage plays John Madden.
Wow.
Yeah, watch
Ah,
that trailer when you're done.
holy hell. Okay.
It just looks like Nicolas Cage wearing a fat suit. That's all
Oh,
that, like, I will say Christian Bale plays Al Davis, so that looks good.
oh
And it's
man.
Christian Bale. I mean Christian
That's
Bale could
yeah.
play this can of Red Bull and win an Oscar. So anyway,
You probably could.
but
Oh wow.
let's
That's
yeah. We have another super chat here. Unknown ball knower comes back in. Carter, Pollard, Dowdle, Manungai, start or sit PPR. Ben, I'll let you take this one first. I've been taking a bunch first. Let's let you
all
get a
right.
crack here.
So we're just need. I'm just gonna put them in order because he didn't specify he needs one, two, whatever. So I'm just gonna put them all in order. Um,
Sure.
Pollard's been on a tear. He's my number one out of these guys. He's the guy in Tennessee. Granted, it's Tennessee, but they've looked better. I mean, even Cam Ward has looked like a solid NFL starting quarterback the last few weeks. So the offense is running pretty well. And it's another situation of like, do we have the players that we need to build off of? So Pollard's number one for me. I'm going Carter number two, and then I would put. I think I would put Rico number three over Monangai because at least we know Rico's probably going to get at least 50% of the carries out of the backfield. Or with Monangai, it could be 12 carries or it could be, 4 opportunities. It's just kind of a too much, too little kind of a thing. So yeah, Pollard, Carter, Rico, Monangai in order for me.
So we pretty much agree, except for at the top. I think I will go Michael Carter slightly over Tony Pollard.
It
Obviously
is a
based
nice
on
matchup,
matchup.
so there's that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've talked a lot about Michael Carter at this point. Surprise, surprise, the matchup's good against the Bengals. But after that, I would go Pollard, I would go Rico, I would go Monungai if I was ranking them in order of how I'd want to use those guys. So, but yeah, I'll go Michael Carter there, but close one. All right, I believe we are done with the super chats now. So we'll go back to the chat here. And Pete, at one point, this must have been maybe this is when we were talking about Thielen or Flores, but
Probably.
or he could have been calling me out. Who knows? Listen, we'll go to the bottom of the list since we've had so many super chats. So if you're still here, if you asked the question, pop it in now. We're gonna start from Sergio here. Oh, actually, no. We'll answer this one because I think this is kind of important. We'll go one ahead of Sergio here. Then, if you have any questions, feel free to fire them in super chats. You cut the line. Feel free to like the show too. That would help. All right, and we'll roll for like another 10 minutes, and then that'll be that. We'll put a bow on this sucker. Dan's coming in here. Does Jonathan Taylor get shut down today since they missed the playoffs? So I don't think he does. I would say for any of you who play fantasy football in week 18, maybe that's something to panic about. But no, I think he plays. They already said Riley Leonard's going to start over Phillip Rivers most likely next week, not this week. So that makes me think the Colts are still going to want to play ball here. maybe give the Jaguars a hard time. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. We'll get to the next question here. Where are we? My bad. Sergio, Tyler Warren, or Brenton Strange? Full point per reception. Ben, this is an opportunity for you to pick your boy. What are you doing?
I'm gonna pick my boy. I'm gonna take Strange over
There you go.
Warren. It's just I had to. I mean, we got the Jaguars who are in full force offensive destruction mode, just laying waste, scoring points at will, pretty much, almost as much as Purdy was last week. But and I love Tyler Warren over the season. It's just that quarterback situation with Rivers. I don't know. It's just we might get he might get 6 targets, but he might catch 5 of them for 40 yards, or he might get 8 targets and catch 4 of them for 40 yards. It's just I don't know what I don't fully trust Grandpa Rivers, even though he did look good last week, and I like Mr. Strange better.
I'm just answering somebody here, but all right. Yeah, we're going to go through these questions. We're going to go a little rapid fire style to kind of bang through some of these. We'll go Drake May or Joe Burrow. Real quick, I'm going Joe Burrow. Ben?
Burrow.
All right. And then we'll go Ted McMillan, who has an illness, still expected to play. BTJ or DJ Moore. I am going to actually lean Brian Thomas. I think Brian Thomas, I know it's been a frustrating year. I think he has a good game today. I'm going to go Brian Thomas here. It's got nothing to do with Tet's illness either.
Yeah. As long as Tet still plays, he's my number 1, but I could see you going with BTJ after that. And obviously he'd be my next pick if they decide to not go with McMillan.
Sounds good. All right. We'll get to the next one here. We got PPR, Flex, T-Mac, Burden, or Samson. In this spot, I will go Ted McMillan.
Yeah, I would definitely go McMillan. And again, if he doesn't play, Burden would be my next pick.
I would agree with that. Yeah. Iggy coming back in here. He's Pearsall, Hendo, or Kyron Williams. Start 2. Kyron Williams and Hendo are easy for me. I mean, I love Kyron Williams. He always produces, always puts up points, even though his metrics stink. Wait for that this summer when they tell you Blake Corum's a better running back in fantasy. Spoiler alert, he is not. And I'll also go with Trevion Henderson in a good matchup against the Jets. Pearsall probably get a decent amount of action tonight, though, with no Kittle. But, yeah, I'm going with the backs here. Ben?
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm benching Pearsall, going with Hendo and Kyron.
All right. Moving on here. Is that a Waldo picture? That's fucking fantastic, man. All right. Full point per reception. Needs 1 wide receiver, 1 flex. Mike Evans, T. Higgins, Genty. The Raiders are clearly tanking. Thank you. The Raiders are clearly tanking, but I think that's more of a front office organization kind of tanking. Like, I don't think Ashton Genty's going to go out there and be like, say he's got a wide open hole. I don't think he's going to say, well, we're tanking. I'm going to maybe run 7 yards and
make some business decisions. Nah, he's a rookie. Right. He's not making business decisions yet.
No, he's not making business decisions. And keep in mind, we mentioned incentives earlier. Who knows if some of these players have incentives in their contract? You think they give a crap about their team tanking? No, they want those incentives. So, I'll go Genty here, and I'm actually going to go T. Higgins over Mike Evans, and it's all matchup based for me.
I think I'm on board. Yeah, Genty is the easy one for me, the easy pick for me here, and then I think I'm leaning Higgins as well.
All right, and then moving on, we've got another question here. Myers, Michael Wilson, DJ Moore, half-point PPR, start 2. I know I mentioned that I like the other 2 Jaguars receivers. This is nothing against Myers, but I'm going Michael Wilson, and I like DJ Moore tonight in what I expect to be a high-scoring affair. So, yeah, DJ Moore and Michael Wilson. Ben?
Yeah, it's a little crowded there in Jacksonville, so I think that's the reason I would go Moore over Myers, but it's definitely Wilson at the top for me.
Yeah. No, I would agree there. He's the constant for sure. Let's go to another question. Saints or Giants defense? We talked about this earlier. Ben, I think you said you were going Saints. I'm going Giants. We're all here for Pete's DST rankings. Pete Nova is the DST guru, and he says Giants over Saints, but yeah.
You said Giants, I said Saints. Pete says Giants. that's probably the way you should go. I'm still leaning Saints
Yeah.
personally.
Pete rules over both of us, regardless of who we pick. There you go.
Yeah.
We got another question here: Joe Burrow or Drake May? Well, I think we had a similar question earlier with another quarterback in the mix. I'm going Joe Burrow in that spot.
I'm also
Wilson
going
or
Burrow. Yep.
Evans? I'll go Wilson. And Wilson or Waddle? I will go Wilson as well. Full point per
Burrow,
reception, by the way.
Yeah, so full PPR. Okay, so yeah, Burrow, that's the easy pick. Wilson over Evans, Wilson over Waddle. Yeah, both on Wilson on both. Yep.
All right, we'll give about we'll go 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes of some rapid fire. Then we're out of here. Then Ben's gonna eat a Pop-Tart. I'm gonna go get some wings, as I've done for the last few weeks. I've been successful in the playoffs when I do that, so I got to do that before the games start. Even though I think I'm dead because I played against Derrick Henry. But gotta keep the faith. Tron Force. Who should I play at flex PPR? Gainwell, Jalen Warren, or Devonta Smith? I'm gonna go Gainwell here because it's point per reception. Ben and I talked about a lot of that earlier with no DK Metcalf. Ben, who are you going with here though? Is Devonta Smith reeling you in, or are you going with one of the Steelers backs?
I'm going Gainwell, and it's just 6 or more targets in 5 of his last 6 games, and now with no Metcalf, we could easily see a 10 target game for Mr. Gainwell this week. So he's my pick.
Tron Force came back in here. I chose to start Tyler Shuck over Bo Nix. Nix ended up doing okay. Yeah, with that last second touchdown, definitely saved his day. I'm stacking Shuck with Olave and Juwan Johnson. Hope I made the right decision. I think you did. I didn't expect Nix to get. I mean, in my home league, he got 20 points. I didn't expect 20 points out of Nix this week. No disrespect to him, but yeah, no. But I think you made the right call, and I think you might still prove to be okay there.
I think so. I think it's weird that we're saying Shuck in championship week for anybody, but he's an absolute valid play. Like the Saints are just playing well offensively and pretty well defensively, and you got both of his main targets there, and they could both see 6, 7, 8 targets or more and turn that into some significant yardage. So I like it. I really do like that stat.
All right. There you go. We've got Chris coming in here. Loveland, Tonjes, or Hill. We've done this a bunch already. I will say Ben went with Hill. Right. Just to be clear, Loveland doesn't sway you, right?
No, does not sway me. He's distant third in this one.
Okay. All right. So Ben went Taysom Hill in this spot. I went Tonjes, but I will say, after some soul searching, it is razor goddamn thin. So if you decide to go Taysom Hill over Tonjes, you will get no judgment from me whatsoever. Second half of this question is Blake Corum, Sampson, or Waddle, full point per reception. In this case, I would go Waddle with the full point per reception. If I went with one of the backs, I would go with Corum over Sampson. I know I joked about Corum earlier, but I'd go Corum over Sampson.
Yeah. Full PPR, it's Waddle for me. If it was anything less than full PPR, I'd probably go Corum over Waddle. So,
all right. We've got, let me see. We have no super chats. If anybody wants to send a super chat in the next 3 minutes, you're welcome to do so. You'll cut the line. We've got Trevor Lawrence or Drake May. He's playing against Diggs or Henry. To me, that doesn't sway me enough. Listen, if this was a warmer weather game, if it was September or October, I'd probably go Drake May then to counteract that. But I mean, I'm not worrying about that today. I think you're going to get a lot of run from the Patriots. I'm going Trevor Lawrence, especially based on the way he's played. Ben?
Yeah, based on the way he's played and all the injuries in the wide receiver core, it's T-Law for me over May.
All right. And we've got, let me see. I'm starring Kyron in the Pats defense. I don't know why I said Kyron twice, but I have to choose from Corum, Parker Washington, or Breece Hall. I would love to tell you Breece Hall, but we talked about our frustrations with him earlier. For me, it's Parker Washington. Ben?
Yeah, I'm Parker Washington too. It's at some point in my life, I'm sure I'll tell myself, stop drafting Jets players for fantasy. But until then, I'm going to continue to punish myself with Breece Hall probably, and I'm going to pick Parker Washington to play this week. But
all right,
too many shares of Breece Hall for me.
Well, yeah, I know. BTJ, Wilson, or Waddle PPR. Close one. I'm going Michael Wilson. Then I'd probably go BTJ and Waddle in that order.
I think I'm the same. Wilson, BTJ, Waddle.
We've got a tight end question here. Let me see. Tyler Warren, Barner, AJ Barner to be exact, or Jake Tonjes in full point per reception. I'm going Tonjes here. I feel like we had a question earlier similar to this, but Ben, what would you pick?
Yeah, we've had a similar one. I think this is the first time I've seen Barner in a question today, but yeah, I'm Tonjes over the field there. Barner feels like the kind of guy who could like just pop off on a random touchdown or two in a game. So, if you were way behind, like trailing by like 30 points going into the game, you really need some upside. I'd maybe take a shot at Barner, but I'm going to go with Tonjes.
All right. Sounds good. And let me see. Let's do one more. We'll go to the very bottom here. Let me see this. Let's go. Well, I said very bottom. This is very bottom. Michael Wilson or Mike Evans? I'm going Michael Wilson. Ben, you're same?
Yeah, I'm with Wilson on this one as well. Love me Mike Evans, but I'm going Mike Wilson. So,
and unless we get a super chat here, this will be the last question. I will tell you guys if you need any other questions answered, follow me on X at the FF Realist or Ben at FF Rabbit Dad. But Carter Harris coming in here 1125 says half point per reception, pick 2. Juwan Jennings, Swift, BTJ, Michael Carter, Shakir. Then he needs QBs, Hurts or Lawrence. I'll take the back end here, and I will say I will go Trevor Lawrence in that spot. That'll be mine. And in terms of the pass catchers, give me Juwan Jennings with no George Kittle, and give me BTJ, who I think will have a nice week.
Okay, so quarterback wise, that's easy pick. I'm T-Law over Hurts all day long. I want to pick Shakir, but I'm not going to. So I'm gonna go with Jennings, and I feel like I almost feel like we answered a question similar to that between BTJ and Carter earlier. Yeah, I think I go BTJ just to stitch the hair over Carter. Carter's going to get the opportunity, and it's in a good matchup. But I think we could see a nice week from Mr. Johnson today.
Gentlemen,
Pete came in just to give you the middle finger.
Oh man, really hates my call on that one. I guess he's a Michael Carter guy.
Yeah, I do like Michael Carter today.
Oh wow, you got a nice you got like a sensual voice there. You sound like you should be on like a smooth jazz radio station.
Sounds like me last week.
Is it because of my voice or because of the new microphone?
Definitely think it's because of the voice. If it's a microphone, I'd probably return the microphone. What do we have here? Pete, is this we're about to get out of here? Does this mean you're hanging around for a few minutes or?
Nah, I was just popping in to say what's up.
Yeah, it's popping to say what's up. All right, well, you can answer this question then, because Chivalry King, I said we were done, and he said no answer because I'm trying to win a fantasy championship. Even though everybody else in here is trying to do so, I had a soft spot in my heart. So, Juwan Johnson, Colson Loveland, Jake Tonjes, or Mike Gesicki, Standard League, the soft porn of fantasy football. Pete, I'll go to you first. You say as little or as much as you want since you're hurting over there.
Yeah, I have Johnson ranked the highest here of all these guys. I have Johnson at 7, Loveland at 8. So if you feel convicted enough to go with Loveland, it's a coin flip in my opinion, but Johnson's got the really safe floor. I think Loveland is the low floor, high ceiling. But it's hard. I mean, Johnson's just been heavily involved for a while. 9 targets last week, even with Taysom Hill being, a factor and around in that game. So, yeah, I'm going with Johnson. I like Johnson a lot this week.
Yeah, I would be going Johnson as well. I do think it's close. I think I'd have him ranked Johnson, Tonjes, and then Taysom. But Ben, what says you, sir, before we ride off into the sunset?
Yeah, it's between Johnson and Tonjes for me. And I think it's Johnson. I just feel like he's a necessary part of the Saints offense as he has been for a lot of the year. He's reliable. Chuck likes him. Yeah, I'm going with Johnson too.
All right. Sounds good. Why is my phone? All right. Well, that's it for us here. Pete, did you have anything else to say before we ride off into the sunset or?
No, we're going to get some best ball playoff live streams probably this week. And like last year, we'll probably do some playoff coverage as well. We'll probably give our favorite bets and also just our picks like we did last year. So I know me and Hoff will be there. Ben, you're more than welcome to join us. I'm sure Steve will make time to be there as well. And Hoff sent the GoFundMe in there from Memphis, but really good guy, super unfortunate. I didn't have the pleasure to work with him, though he does work at Player Profiler with me. But really unfortunate and just downright a really good guy. I worked with him a little bit in terms of not work directly with him, but we ran in the same circles on content and stuff, and we talked a little bit here and there. But really unfortunate. You guys all donated and were extremely supportive with Anthony. And while you might not have as much of a connection to Memphis as you did Anthony, it would be very much appreciated if you have the means to do so. And if not, you can go to my Twitter or Hoff's and just give us a retweet or a like on the GoFundMe just to make sure it gets pushed out to as many people as possible.
Yeah, sometimes sometimes a retweet is just as good because it gets into the hands of somebody else who can help out there. And I would also say feel free to hit up Jerry Sinclair there at Jerry SINDWZ. I know how hard it is to lose a podcast partner. It's more than just coming on a show and talking football. I mean, you get to know these people. It sucks. You're a part of their lives on a daily basis. So it sucks a lot. So that guy's going to be hurting for a bit. So definitely feel free to just send some love his way. But yeah, Ben, any final words before we run?
No, yeah, definitely reach out and, check that out. It's super sucky. Especially when it just pops into nowhere in this time of the year where, there's so much family and friend stuff going on anyway. So, again, I also never really knew the guy, but I knew of him. But other than that, I saw it was a 45.5 rushing yard over under on the underdog for Michael Carter. So I put it up to 54.5 and took the over.
I love Carter today.
Yeah, we all do apparently, even though I can't trust the Cardinals backfield, but all right. Maybe it's an NFC West thing, except for the Rams and the Niners, but who knows?
It's the Bengals. Right. Come on, Mike. It's the Bengals.
I know. That's the only reason why I'm going with it. But all right. That's going to do it, folks. Listen, we hope you guys win your fantasy football championships. Stick with us. We don't stop in the offseason either. We'll have dynasty content, all that fun stuff. But until next time, stay thirsty, be kind to one another. We'll catch you on the flip side, and cheers.